Welcome back to Crown's Crypto Cave, and a happy Friday morning to everyone out there in cryptocurrency land, finishing up the rest of my coffee. My God, I need more sleep. But you know what? Cryptocurrency doesn't sleep, so it doesn't matter what day it is. You made it to Friday, but you know what? Actually, cryptocurrency's been sleeping for a little bit of time now. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the live scene right over here as we look at the action or inaction of Bitcoin. Some good old magic internet money business over here. Getting another rejection off the yellow 21 exponential, closing a nice thick dildo below it. All higher time frames below all major moving averages right now. Here's your 2-day as well. The 2-day did close last night. Again, a low volume rejection of the 21 once again. We got the 3-day right over here. Again, I do want to denote and really call out that this is the first 3-day that we've ever actually had close below this 200 simple moving average ever since. You already know where I'm going with it. You already know. You already know. It's right over here. In 2014, a very similar situation. Once the 200 simple moving average, this red moving average over here got on top of price action. That was kind of the end of this consolidation over here. So a very similar situation. You look at this price action from the history of Bitstamp, and I'm gonna put on my drawing tools, which yeah, you can see that we did have a nice horizontal right here. So a very similar situation in some ways, because not only do we have the 2-day dildo death cross, but we also have, what is this? Oh wow, we had a 3-day death cross. Wow. I had not seen that before on the 3-day. Sorry, let's go to the 2-day though, just really quick. Or no, we can stay here. Anyways, when it comes down to it, we have this horizontal right here. So you can see that Bitcoin was kind of basing along this area. You have test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. You want to call this 5 or just break. I mean, maybe even call these ones as well. But, at the end of the day, I think my point is that a lot of people thought that probably this was a low when Bitcoin was hanging around $321.40. But, as it kind of ground this low, and this is what I mean by consolidating on your lows, this is not a good sign. Whenever you consolidate on your lows, in my experience, it typically leads to new lows. Just like when you consolidate along a resistance, it typically leads to new highs. But right here, right now, you can see we're kind of analogous to what we're doing over there. Again, going back to my GDAX charts, as that's a little bit more clean and clear over here. But again, acting below the 200 simple, and again, this is the first 3-day dildo that's both opened and closed. We've certainly closed a few below, or at least one over here. Yeah, and then this is the first one both opening and closing below. So again, when you're looking at moving averages, that is actually that is considered a full-on break. It looks like we are using it as resistance so far along this area over here. So as long as that's going on, I do lean to the downside. I also lean to the downside just because you've been creating lower high after 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 lower high, and perhaps even another lower high over here for the last almost 11 months now. We are coming to the end of good old October. But again, remember, these things take a long time. And while I do lean that way, I need to be very adamant in stating this. Hey, as long as you're above 6,100, and I hope that I repeat this ad nauseum because I know it's fucking annoying, but it's also extremely important. As long as you're above this support right here at around 6,150, yes, it does look bearish to me. Yes, I would just, by the nature of it, I would probably think probably lower, just going off of statistics again. But until you actually break it, there's no real big short trade to be made. So that's the difference between someone like me and Tony Vase, because I won't, while I look at this and I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty fucking bearish. I mean, you kind of have to be bearish when creating lower high for, 11 months now. Just by the most simple of simple chart guys definitions. Guys, Dan here from Chart Guys. What does he say? I don't even fucking know anymore. He says, welcome to crypto.chartguys.com. Okay, guys, so the bulls want to get higher highs and the bears want to get lower lows. Keep on doing those good things. Buy my program. All right, if you need to learn how to do higher highs or higher lows, well, you can also learn it from me for free. I actually do have that in the technical analysis series. Anyways, okay, so right over here, let's throw on the 10 simple moving average. But sorry, I didn't even finish my fucking stupid spiel over here. Sorry about that. This 6150 area right over here, as long as you're above there, yes, while I am overall bearish, just because statistically I have to be, as long as you're above it, it's inappropriate to represent my trades down that way. Again, that's the difference between someone like me and Tony Vase. We'll see the same thing probably, but he'll take a trade where I say, no, that's not the time to be shorting it. You don't short something right here on 6150 exactly. You can short this resistance that we're currently at. I don't hate that trade. I actually did take it earlier, but it just wasn't moving, so I took it off. Although it's probably the right trade to be having, as we do get rejected by the 10 simple over here. Again, you know, this price action from last Monday on the tether scare, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to refer to it as, did really throw things for a loop right now. You know, all the oscillators got fucked up. You know, all the price action kind of, you know, took its time to settle out. But as you'll notice, no big major levels being taken out, especially, you know, this guy over here, which we are still, I believe we are still respecting. Are we still respecting it? Did we close above it? Yeah, we actually did close above it yesterday. We have closed a couple above it, actually, above this guy right here. Now is that a confirmed break? Well, I would argue no, it's not a confirmed break. The reason being because there's no major volume spike. I need to see major volume analogous to what we saw over here, and preferably something, you know, that really stands out. I mean, these do really stand out in comparison to the relative price action. So I need to see something that denotes a change of behavior. This is not it right here. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. But again, when you're underneath all major moving averages and you're poking your head out above on a very low volume, that is actually your traditional trap. That's your traditional bull trap. So again, this would be the setup to kind of break this low over here. But again, am I taking a short right here? No, absolutely fucking not. It's not the time to be doing it. I'll happily take a short if we do break that area. What I have been doing and what I've been showing for the last week and a half is I've been shorting these 6,500 call strikes over here, which are pretty much all but expired now. So I was short about like 10 or 20 or 10 or 15 of them or 20 of them, I don't know, in the last week, and I've been slowly buying them back. As you can see, I sold them initially for, I think you guys saw it, like 120 or 130 or you know $120 or $130. And now as expiration ticks down, we got 2 hours and 43 minutes to go. They are worth $9.5 essentially. That's the best offer right there. No one's buying them. So again, are they really worth anything? No. I did buy back pretty much the rest of them literally right here at 0.05. I'll buy back the rest right now, just because there's, you know, there's no reason to, well, do I want that risk or not? I don't really care. I can just buy stock or buy coins if it rallies up. But again, expiring in the next less than 3 hours, I'm fine with that. What I have been doing is I'm trying to roll them onto this next expiration over here. So I've been filling up the books recently. Whoops, not 185 quantity, but I do want to do 185 price. I'm trying to roll them onto the next expiring next week. So again, if you're not familiar with these sorts of things, I'm actually creating an options program right now, which is why I didn't make a video last night. In fact, let's just short fucking 5. I'm gonna short like 5 at 2. Yeah, and that's why I didn't make a live stream last night, just because there wasn't really too much price action, and overall, you know, I'm pretty deep in creating this program. I am about 25 modules in now, and while it's still in kind of like beta testing phase, there's been a lot of interest in it. I was really flattered by all the people reaching out yesterday. Yes, I have filled all the tester spots. However, if you're really interested in this and you really want to get into it, and you understand that, hey, this is kind of a work in progress right now, I'm probably going to add about somewhere around 30 modules, give or take. Again, I'm at 25 right now. You know, as it's in the beta testing phase, there's probably going to be mess ups somewhere along the line, or you know, there might be technical difficulties, there might not be. You know, I try to do my best to make sure that everything is, you know, all good, all green to go. But of course, that's why I have, you know, the initial phases where I say, hey, you know, you can buy it for a reduced price, and you can still buy it for reduced price right now. It'll be a little bit more just because we got the initial testers in, and they're actually making some serious progress right now. But again, who am I looking for to really take that on at the reduced price? Well, someone who's newer, preferably has maybe even a little bit of knowledge now. We've got some guys who have no knowledge, but a little bit of knowledge would be good, just because I want to make sure that everything makes sense to someone, and it's also worthwhile to someone who has like the basics down. Now, of course, in an options program like that, it's, you know, I have to go over the basics and everything like that. I do go over the basics, and I even go over all of the cookie cutter strategies and all that kind of stuff. But the real value in that program is going over what my experience was like as a market maker and sharing those sorts of secrets. So when it comes down to it, I want to get someone who's kind of like in the middle, who might not know those things, or who probably doesn't know those things, and also share my personal strategies as well as in what I was doing in options. So again, if you're interested in that, do reach out to me. Again, it's been very flattering, all the people who've reached out to me. Wow, thank you. I just want to say massive thank you. And again, I'm doing my best to get this one done within. I want to have everything done within the next week. But I mean, I basically locked myself in my apartment for the last couple of weeks, basically just recording videos. But you know, I actually really do love it. This program, while I don't think it's probably, you know, it's probably not applicable to most people, it's the most satisfying one that I've done, to be quite honest. Just because options, there's so much to fucking do. Like I said, you can trade a dull market like this and it's profitable. So anyways, I'll stop talking about that. Sorry, that was just completely off topic. Anyways, rejected by all major moving averages on the daily, and I believe every other time frame as well. Two-day is actually rejection of this area as well. Again, here's the thing though, is this trend line even valid anymore? We are poking our heads above it on the daily, remember? But here's the thing, when you do have a formation like this, and again, everyone's looking at this smaller descending triangle. It's no fucking secret. You even got fucking chart guys, Tony Vase, Philicones. I like Philicone. I mean, I don't really watch him, but I think, like, at least he fucking shows his trades, man. At least he fucking shows his trade. Well, I guess Tone Vase does now too, but there's your verification, I suppose. That's me. He probably actually does come on top on that one. But yeah, and then a million fucking other people. Data Dash always comes to mind. Coin Mastery, these guys. Anyways, okay, so when you do have a formation that everyone's looking at, and you get to the end of it, and no direction's been picked, and again, while yes, you are breaking out to the upside, there's no breakout volume to the upside. What'll happen is you'll go sideways for a little bit, and then a new pattern will form. So right here, while it doesn't necessarily look too strong, it could still take its time, kind of mold its way through here. Now, yes, we do have a very important situation coming into into later day to be aware of. The CME's futures for October are expiring, so that typically does produce some price action. Let's go look at the CMEs over here, 63.85. Do have it charted out, and the CMEs have actually looked worse than the other spot exchanges, the SAFU exchanges, so to say. Not closing anything above any major moving averages for, even on last Monday. I mean, they sold down all the fucking way. So that was the true professionals actually selling it all the way down, and that's also very indicative of of their disposition. So we don't really have too many discrepancies in price action. They're actually currently trading at a discount for $10. So what's likely to happen? Well, the SAFU exchanges probably do sell it down if you do maintain this discount on futures going into the close. But again, these things change around quite rapidly. But hey, if the futures were trading at a premium, then the spot exchange would probably rally up to meet that. If the futures are trading at a discount, then spot exchanges probably fall back to meet that as well. I mean, I guess it would really be the futures coming up to meet it, anyways. So I think I've explained that, hopefully. Anyway, let's go check out GBTC. How's GBTC doing? Closing the day down actually a little bit. So again, a rejection of the 21 exponential, not getting above, failing to get close above this horizontal right here, and then closing back below this 10 simple over here. So again, this does not look good to me. This is just morphing into what is probably going to be a bear flag. It's like an M on a daily is what it looks like, or kind of right here. We do have no bearish divergence, but I'm gonna guess we probably have it on like a 4-hour. No, we don't. Hey, fair enough. But again, the 4-hour dildo chart over here, below all major moving averages, and just looking a little bit droopy. Does look like it wants to kind of morph into some variation of a bear flag right here, something like this perhaps. Something like that. Yeah. Sorry, and I should say that as long as you're below this area right here on the daily. So again, as long as you're below $7.31.5 on the daily. So that's kind of like the big area to be aware of. If you do go back above $7.31 on the daily, then that's kind of off the table. But at the same point in time, it's not out of the woods until you really get back above this area over here at about $8.05-ish area. So it's got a lot of work to do. But right here, right now, not looking the best. Daily Stokes look like they want to cross down. They are. What about the daily Stokes? Let's go to regular exchanges over here. What are the daily Stokes saying over here? Yeah, we just actually rejected it across the upside. What about the 10-hour? 10-hour crossing down, rejecting the neutral zone. That's not good. But as you can see, it's been snaking around here very, very often. It's getting tighter. It's getting tighter and tighter. So what is this telling us? It's telling us exactly what we see in the charts, that we're consolidating. And again, when you're consolidating along this side of this part of an area, I would say not the best signal. But hey, again, until we actually get confirmation of below 6150, that's not the right trade to be taken, in my opinion. It just hasn't been profitable this year. It doesn't mean that it can't be, but again, you could also break out to the upside. And what would I be looking for that? Well, if we break out above 6460-ish area, if we close a 4-hour dildo above this 200 exponential right over here, that starts to look okay. Our 4-hour Stokes are kind of getting a little bit to the downside over there. Again, they can stay down there for quite some time, but overall, RSI is completely neutral in my opinion. can go either way. But again, if you are looking for a trade to the upside, I'd really wait, just like I'd wait for, you know, a break of 6150-ish area down here. I'd wait for a break of 6460. If you could do that, then I don't see much stopping you from this resistance over here, right around 6750. You do have this area over here more preliminarily at around 6,632. Or I mean, just 6,630-ish area, if we don't want to get too goddamn specific over here, which, you know, you probably initially bounce off of. But, you know, I think that if you do break 6460 and you start living back above this 200 exponential, you probably do carry it back on up and test 6750-ish area. Not only that, but if you were to test that area, just have good, you know, that good symmetry with the good old charts over here that the charts do love to have, and testing this overall descending triangle over here, which we have still been living under. You know, nothing's changed there either. This would actually meet it perfectly right around here, right around 6750-ish area. In the more lower time frames, which is really good English over here, but we do have a horizontal right here. So if you were to break this area right here, right at 6360, then yeah, I don't really see too much holding you up from 6250 over here. Maybe it's a quick move, you know, but again, until 6150 is broken, I think I would just be playing the range, really. I mean, I would be playing the range, nothing else. I just don't see the advantage in trading something, you know, when you can just wait for confirmation and be a lot more confident in something, and that would be, again, below about 6150 to 6100 on heavy volume. Again, we're looking for heavy volume, just like this breakout, or quote unquote breakout over here that everyone on crypto Twitter got crazy about. There's no volume on it, so it ain't a breakout without any volume. We need to see participation and conviction in the market. We just don't have that right now. Doesn't mean that it can't come in. It's not there right now. Let's go check out the coin signals over here. Again, this is total market cap, probably the most lenient way of looking at things. And this one has poked its head out above the major area too. But again, hesitation here, no volume on this guy either. So is that a breakout or not? Well, that is the perfect scenario for a potential trappy trap. So again, when it comes down to it, you know, I'm very, 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 very cautious right here, both ways. I don't have any position besides those options positions, and those are very easy to cover. You know, if we start rallying back up, you know, I basically have a stop market just to buy in those coins. No problem. Weekly over here, I do want to cover the weekly really quick as we get back on over here. The 21 exponential cross to the downside of the green 55, again, happening only one at a time in Bitcoin's almost 10-year history right over here. Very, very similar price action situation as we also looked at the 3-day dildo 200 simple closing below that. We also are living well below this red 10 simple moving average right over here, which does close on the weekend. And again, failure to get back above it or even test this guy right here, it just looks weak, as you do gain more momentum away from these two moving averages right here. Think of it like a MACD, right? The histogram is increasing. It's telling you that it's gaining momentum, just like you were over here. You know, it kind of starts, and look at this. You actually tested it very similarly to how you did in 2014, and then it just increases more and more as the divergence gets more intense. So again, as long as you're closing the weekly below a 10 simple, I really don't have a reason to be bullish on this thing. I mean, you're below all major movement averages. Again, it's, you know, simplify here. This is the point of the chart where you can simplify, because there's not really, like, the range is so small that it's not even really too profitable to be playing right now. It's really time to be preparing for the big break either which way. And you want to, you know, you don't want to be caught with your fucking pants down in a red or green dildo Christmassy in your bunghole over there. So that's the whole thing, is, you know, is preparation. Perspective on this chart right here, very likely to break pretty damn soon. If we go over and turn on the Trollinger bands, the Trollols, well, what are they going to say to us? They're probably not going to say anything because they're fucking computer objects. They don't talk. But we can see that they are suggesting with their computer language that we are still getting rejected from this median band, right? Or sorry, the median simple moving average right here, which is essentially a skid mark of a 20 simple moving average. If we were to go down to a 3-day, we could see that, yes, it's living well below this guy over here. And again, you know, whenever you're using the Trollinger bands, I do have a video on this, but it's not until you both open and close a dildo above or below this median band right here, sorry, the median moving average right there, until you actually have like a possible until you have a possible trend reversal defined. 2-day over here, reject. I mean, these are all just straight up rejections right here. Again, not on heavy volume, so that would be the positive thing. And daily over here, tried to get above, but again, getting ground down. Looks to me, I mean, it does look weak to me. Again, I am comfortable in saying that. It's just, you know, am I short right now? Not really. I'm short some out of the money calls. I mean, it's not really the same thing as, I mean, it is being short. Yeah, I fucking get it. But when it comes down to it, you know, they're options, man. You can fucking trade them. Jesus Christ, just spread them, cover, buy some other one. My God, it's that simple. But again, you know, you're looking at this over here, and those Trollinger bands are also very importantly getting extremely tight. And let's actually look at the width of them. Let's see if we've been this tight before. How tight like a tiger, tight like the very sexual, the very tight Bollinger Bands width over here. And let's just kind of scroll this baby out and compare. Okay, so looks to me that wow, that was a terrible sound that I just made there. Sorry. My voice probably sounds like a raspy lesbian scratching on a chalkboard. But over here, yeah, you can actually see that we actually did pick it up over here for a little bit. But let's scroll out. 2-day over here. 2-day is getting lower and lower. Again, really doesn't spend too much time in this area, historically speaking. So we've only been lower in the Trollinger bandwidths about 2 times now, it looks like to me. What about 3-day? 3-day, same thing, but actually a little bit more. So 3-day says that we could actually tighten this up more, and weekly, same sort of thing. You know, we've only been this kind of tight, and you know, a couple times before, it looks like, again. And where were they over? You know, right over here actually. So funnily enough, or maybe not funnily enough, if you're in a short, the last few times that you have gotten the Trollinger bands this tight, it has resulted in extremely heavy up moves, actually. So, hey, there you go. I mean, 2 for 2, but, you know, that would also be implying that anytime you consolidate, it can only be a bullish consolidation. I don't know if I can say that, you know, an always statement on that. That's, I think that's a little bit disingenuous. Anyways, let's go over the oscillators, and then we'll go over Ethereum, then we'll close it out. But again, okay, so daily Stokes, we saw that those were down. 12-hour Stokes are actually pointing up, so fair enough. That would be a good counterpoint to everything that we just went over. But all of the time frames are essentially down. This is 10, this is 8, this is 4. 4 is, well, 4 is kind of getting ready. 2 is just crossing back. It got a fresh cross, fresh fade. What about 3? The 3 are crossed up. The 3 are crossed up. Let's see if it continues. RSI and all of them is neutral. You know, this is 3-hour, this is 12-hour. It basically looks the same. I mean, the higher time frames look a little bit more bearish because you're consolidating between the bear zone and the neutral zone. But again, that's really splitting hairs. Daily over here, same sort of thing, you know, same sort of thing. Overall, the big levels to be aware of are very, very visually apparent. We're all looking at the same goddamn thing, so pay attention to those. Let's go check out Mr. Buterol over here on BitMexico. Mr. Buterol is what makes me think that this does break down pretty, you know, Mr. Buterol would make me think that Bitcoin breaks down, because remember, you know, they typically trade together. Sometimes Buterol does trade ahead as the leaders of this market take turns. But again, you know, if we put on our drawing tools over here, rising wedge, rising channel, drop down, bear flag, get your eagle on, baby, because it's time to fucking go. And you've been using this as resistance ever since. So here's what I could say about Mr. Buterol. Just like for Mr. Bitcoin, as long as you're below 64.60, it's hard to get excited for like any sort of breakout to the upside. For Mr. Buterol, it's not until you get back above about 204.5, and really more specifically speaking, about 206, I'd be a little bit more excited for. But right here, I mean, you know, you broke this to the downside. You've been respecting it as resistance ever since. I don't like that. You know, as you know, yes, you would typically be looking for a more violent follow through. So I would say that you would be looking for a more violent follow through. But as long as you're below this level right here, that's, you know, I give that side the nod, so to say. Okay, there's one other thing that I wanted to that I wanted to speak on really quickly. What do we have? Oh yeah, SPYs. Let's go check out traditional markets closing big up on the day. Actually, big up on the day. For almost $5, 4.75. So that's 1.8%. But again, you know, just rejection of this area right here. We do have some pretty hefty bullish divergence on the lows over here. So I would say that. What about the daily? Is this bullish divergence on the daily? Yeah, it is in a way, but it also isn't. I do have us going lower overall. but really not that much lower. I mean, you could say that this was already the test of this area over here, so maybe we do tag it one more time at 263.5. Again, I don't, I said when we broke this bear flag to the downside that we're probably going down here, but I don't know, I don't know how, it could take a while. You just don't know with these things. Well, it happened in like the next day, so fair enough. So hey, maybe this happens relatively soon as well, but I do think that you probably have a bounce soonish. But overall, the weekly does not look good here. Weekly is going to be, I mean, really you want the weekly to close above about 271.5, this 55 exponential right here, but you're below, I mean, you're probably going lower overall, I would think. But again, that can take some time. Again, if you close this weekly below 271, it's gonna look pretty nasty, to be quite honest. Anyways, back onto the Bitcoins over here. Let's wrap it up just one more time, and let's actually talk about the more bullish scenario as well. I need to do that due diligence. Okay, so what would make me more bullish? Well, hey, if you could break out of this area over here, out of 6750-ish area, kind of this upper resistance trend line, which also does align with this overall greater descending triangle trend line, that would be interesting to me. That would be very interesting. I would take a long even on a break of 6460. I would, but a break of that, I'd be interested. In above 7400, I'd become very interested. In above 10,000, I'd be no questions asked. But again, as long as we're down around here, I do remain bearish. I do lean to the downside, just because statistically speaking, you're in a couple of bearish patterns. You have all the bad exponential moving average crosses that you can pretty much have. So it doesn't mean that they can't switch around, but this has been pretty staunch support. So if I can just wrap up what I'm saying one more time. Hey, yes, I'm not really short. I don't really have a position. I'm trading some options. That's basically it. So again, I hope this one finds you well. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday, and I'll be speaking to you on a live stream near you soon. Hopefully you get some price action, baby, because goddamn, this one's putting everyone to sleep. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys soon.